What's up, everybody? We are Reality Roommates, back at it again with another episode. I don't know why you guys keep thinking we're going to go away. We're not going away. We are staying right here for every single episode of this season. So to catch up on every single episode and breakdowns, you guys can watch us, and we'll be breaking out every single episode, as you guys know. Hit the subscribe button, also like. We'll be coming back to every single comment, as you guys may know. I am also here with my co-host.
What's good, Reality Roommates? It's your boy, Willie.
And it's your boy, IV. We're live in the building. Happy to be here. Let's go.
Let's
get it.
Now we're going to start off getting right into it. As you guys may know, as usual, we get right into the details. Let's start out with the beginning of this episode 22, correct?
Mm-hmm.
22, 23, one of those. I'm willing to bet 23, episode 23.
All I know is this is typically the episode where we get two nominees, but we didn't get that this time.
Yeah.
Okay, so this week is essentially, I believe it's 23 because we covered 2 episodes last time, and I had
it is 23.
So episode 23, I definitely will have it on the title to make sure it's all correct. But the episode starts out with a reset week. Essentially, the 2 people that left, Cameron and Jared, are no longer gone. They're not officially gone. They're actually back into the house as zombies, BB zombies, and they have a second chance at life at the game. And both of them will be battling it out throughout the week to maintain their stay inside this house. I believe there's 2 different battles, maybe. I'm not too sure, but this episode only showed 1. And yeah, man, let's start out with when they first came in. Everyone had gloomy faces, like, man, except Sari, obviously. She was happy to see Jared. But everyone was definitely pissed that the 2 house guests came back and that they have a second chance at life. Jared was obviously excited, and Cameron was obviously excited. Now, the way Jared entered the house, he definitely caused a ruckus. He definitely caused a lot of irritation. A lot of irritation. And I think Cameron played the smartest. He kept calm, cool, and collected. I think Jared's mind is completely just like he checked out in terms of thinking, because he came in pissed at everyone, and Cameron came in cool, calm, and collected, trying to rebuild, which is the smartest way to come in. But we'll start with mainly Jared, him entering the house and immediately starting an argument with Felicia. It was Jared, Sari, and Felicia inside the room, and the argument essentially came about when Jared told Felicia, yo, I trusted you, but you voted me out, and Felicia's side saying, yo, you tried to vote me out the week before, and you wanted to keep Izzy in, but the votes didn't go your way, so it's the same thing. How do you guys feel about that whole entire argument, even with Sari chipping in, saying, yo, you didn't want me to, as a final 2, and Jared exposing that? How do you guys feel about that? Ivan, we'll start with you.
So we're talking about the argument between Felicia, Jared, and Sari?
Yeah, Felicia, Jared. I guess you could add Nicole, even though she didn't really say anything. And Sari.
Nicole kind of was furniture in that moment, but
one
was definitely something that was weeks in the making, because if you guys pay attention to feeds and whatnot, there has been like that underground chess match taking place between Sari and Felicia. Obviously, Felicia went to Jared and tried to get a final 2, things like that. So it was interesting to see it come to a head, and having them have their little argument. I'm hoping that both sides can see that they're in a position that they need to work together instead of having this. So
Agreed.
This might have been a positive thing, because it's like one of those moments where you ever had a moment where you didn't rock with someone and someone didn't rock with you for whatever reason. Maybe you guys are just not gelling, right? But then you guys kind of have that showdown, whether it was, physical confrontation or just an argument out loud, or y'all just get to actually talk about what the issues are. After that, the air is kind of clear, and you might end up being friends. You might end up rocking out. So I think this might be something that could potentially bring them back together. Now, obviously, Corey's side is going to have to work hard on making sure that doesn't happen, because I know that's not in their benefit, so they're not going to want that to happen. But it'd be ultimately a positive thing.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with that, to be honest. I feel like that argument was kind of needed to, like, maybe they can all think clearly and be like, okay, there's 2 sides of the house. We need to band up because they were stronger with numbers. So I feel like maybe it needed to happen. But I'm not gonna lie though, how loud they were during that argument was not a good look,
Yeah.
especially for Jared, man. Like you just like you're not even in the house yet. You just instantly go into a room and start this big commotion while Cameron is cool, calm, and collected. It makes you look so bad. It was such a bad look. Like you could even see in Miko's face. She was just like, man, like what are they doing? They were arguing to the top of their lungs. They were screaming like Felicia, Sari, Jared. It's like the whole house was just listening. Cameron, Corey, all of them. They were just by the door listening. It's terrible look, man. But I understand why Felicia was mad. Like, yo, you guys just try to flip on me. I thought I was y'all like basically y'all number ones. Like, what's going on? Y'all flipped on me. So all right, I returned the favor. Why are you mad? So I didn't understand that, but like they were too loud about it. But it did need to happen because it could build a strong foundation for what they could do like next week and all that.
Definitely, it was long overdue. So
Yeah,
we'll see where.
I definitely agree. I think Felicia, her mind was in the right place. It's not like she was completely wrong. She had some very valid arguments. She was essentially doing to them as they did onto her. But she definitely lied when it came to Jared exposing the fact that she wanted to have a final two with him rather than Sari. And we started to see Sari kind of buck up a little bit on Felicia, them having that very big argument. You know, Sari kind of having her input in that argument. And I think overall, like you said, it's definitely a positive because it's like one of those situations where you argue, but it makes you stronger as a family, you know? So I think it was definitely a good thing, and I completely agree with you guys. Another argument that ensued was the Blue and Jared argument.
Yeah.
Now, every time Jared argues with Blue, I constantly think, bro, you're overreacting. Every single time, I think he's overreacting. He kept secrets. She kept secrets. And I hate to see it because it's like, bro, you're overreacting times 12. Like,
Yeah, it does make him look bad. Every argument.
Yeah, I just think he's at a point in the game where it's no longer Jared being conscious. It's just like him trying to survive. His survival instincts are kicking in to the point where he's not even thinking anymore. He's no longer conscious. It's just straight reacting. Like something happened, okay, I just gotta attack it. I just gotta attack it. Until like he's just backed into a corner, so he's constantly trying to fight everyone who he feels is poking at him, even in the slightest way. But I think his best bet is to rebuild these relationships. He has to look at what he can gain. Blue she had a great point when she said, "Yo, are you not thinking, bro? Obviously they're going against you." And that's exactly what me and Ivan were talking about when we said that he should have went for Corey or America to get them out instead of Cameron. What are you doing? Wake up. Of course they're after you, bro. So everyone in the house knew except him for some odd reason. He was so focused on Cameron, he couldn't even fixate the fact that he just had a huge argument and got caught in a lie with Corey. Wake up, bro. You're playing Big Brother. You just made a big mistake, and you're not even trying to cover that mistake. You're still going on last week. Focus on this week, what just happened. But he's so focused on, oh, my mom's being targeted and she's not on the block, bro. Like,
You are right.
Like, what are you doing, bro? Like, wake up. But yeah, Jared's playing a horrible game right now, and the thing that bugs me the most about Jared's game is the fact that he can play a wonderful game. He's in a wonderful position. 99% of the times, he's just choosing to react rather than think. Even now, I would say he has a second chance at life, and he could play it better than Cameron. But again, he's letting his emotions get the best of him. Even in the competition, his emotions are getting the best of him. Every time he drops the ball, he's just reacting. He's just like, while Cameron is cool, calm, and
Safe to say he's emotional. Very emotional guy.
Yeah, he's all emotional when his back's against the wall, and it just, man, he could be so much smarter. He could be just as smart as his mom and physically, good at the game, but instead he's overreacting. He's overreacting with his game when it comes to, and sometimes that helps him. He won an HOH that way. Sometimes it helps him. But more times in this game of Big Brother, you're going to need patience, you need to strategize, you're going to need to think, which Sari does all of those things. But then,
sure.
But I feel like the young buck is not really, he's what's their last names?
Fields.
Yeah, like the young Field brother is like, he's he hasn't grown into a mature field yet. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure when he matures a little bit more, he'll be just like his mom and more dominant because he has a physical aspect. But right now, you know, baby Fields is struggling to realize, yo, calm down and actually use
Baby
your
Fields is
brain
Baby
that
Fields
your
for a
mom
reason.
has, you know? But yeah, that's my little rant. How do you guys feel about it? Willie, we'll start with you.
Just to give Jared some credit, Blue should have told him that he was the target, even though he should have known. I do know he should have known. Like, I don't know what was going on through his mind, but like, I feel like Blue could have just, reminded him because, Jared needs for whatever reason, he needed a reminder. So I feel like Blue reminding him, setting him straight would have been really good, especially since he picked Matt to play in the veto instead of his mom, which is crazy.
This man
But
is not
that's
thinking.
insane. That's actually really insane that he picked Matt. That's crazy. Like, that's the worst move in Big Brother history. Can we all agree on
Terrible
that?
for him. Terrible read.
He's
That's
just not. He's not
after all the
thinking.
lying that he was getting accused of by Matt too. Like, it's like, why would you even pick Matt to play in the veto? Crazy. But I will say Blue could at least reminded him. I guess sadly, sad that he even needed that, man. But wow, bro, Jared just never ceases to amaze me, man. He's not looking in the future. Even when he's technically out the game, he should be building relationships with people, but he said he's tearing them down. I just can't wrap my head around why he would do that. But it was pretty fresh. He just got out the house, so of course in his mind he's just mad. He's very emotional. But like, at what point are you just like, all right, I got to build relationships with the people in case I return back in the house?
Facts. All right. I don't know if I should start by dissecting where he went wrong or also shooting him some bail. So I'm going to choose to shoot him some bail real quick. Let's dissect a little bit.
Got you.
Yeah.
All right. So I have an issue with Blue. Now, I'm not saying he's 100% correct in how he came at her, but the issue with Blue here is, yes, Jared did keep a lot of things from Blue in this game, but at the same, never has it been a situation where people are like, hey, yeah, we're going to target Blue. Yeah, we got to get Blue up out of here. And Jared decides to sit on his hands and say, yeah, that's cool. You can get rid of Blue. We've seen how when Blue got put up on that block. He was not happy with it. What did he do? He returned the favor immediately the next week by winning HOH, and he put the chillers on the block. Direct response, So the issue that I have here is Blue was very knowledgeable in the fact that Corey and America and the rest of the gang were after Jared and his mom. She knew about all this. She hung around them. This is when she was on some weird tirade about, she's going to target Jared.
Yeah.
And
that lasted not long at all.
Exactly. But for that moment that she was on that, she's seen who the traitors were, who was against Jared. She knew all this. She knew all this prior, way before the double eviction. So she knew where this car was driving to. She didn't give this man an inkling of a warning. I mean, you would think that she would at least give him a warning when he's got Corey and America dead to rights on the block. At least tell them, hey, they're gunning after you real bad, right? You might want to leave them up on the block. She didn't even give him that. She just let him actually make the dumb move of putting Cameron up.
That's a good point.
So I have to call Blue out, and she deserves to be called out by Jared because clearly he was gone off hubris and his overconfidence, or you could call it arrogance, whatever you want to call it, but he was gone off that and not realizing that, these people want you and want you up out of here bad. Blue should have told him at this point because Blue needs to recognize this. Yes, you're getting off on being a floater and things like that, but that's only going to last so long because I have a sneaky suspicion people might be willing to keep Felicia in the house longer than you. They might be willing to keep me in the house longer than you. Your use was practically just to be a mole to see what is Jared thinking. She could be at any time. This is not a smart game move. I know people hate Jared out there, but if you're a Blue, I don't think siding with Corey and the rest and being number 5 or 6 in that crew, I don't think that's going to be a good end game for Blue. You know, not that she has high win equity anyway right now, but turning against the one person that would definitely take you off the block if they had a veto, definitely not going to vote against you. You can't turn on types of people in the game. It's the same reason why Corey won't drop America for nothing, because he knows, hey, this might be the one person that has my back no matter what. Blue, you have to realize you're teamed up with Jared now. You can't take that back. There's no take backsies in the showman's game in Big Brother.
Yeah, she tried to take it back.
Yeah.
She did.
So dumb move on her hand. I don't want to call any player dumb, but she has not proven to be strategic in this game. Because if she was, she would have told Jared when he had Corey and America on that block, keep them. This is what they're up to. She decided to sit on her hands and then want to be like, oh, I tried when he voted out. Who knows if he's going to make it back in the house? That's the thing. We got to realize from Jared's perspective, he doesn't know if he's necessarily back in the game. Still.
Yeah.
So he's going to be reasonably a little upset. Now, here's the issue with Jared. Issue with Jared is you're coming in this house, you're coming in a little too rough with everyone, because at the end of the day, you already got voted out. And guess what? Even if you make it back in the house, they could easily just vote you out next week. Yeah. Chill out. The fact that he put Matt up to fight for him on veto, that just shows this man's head
insane.
Go left from right now. Instead of everybody knows you and your mom are rocking together. They don't know that's your mom, but they already see you guys as a duo. Sari, come play for me. Because guess what? At the very least, you know that you can beat Sari. So that's one less competitor you have to worry about. Or I would put Mama Felicia as my choice. But picking Matt, that's somebody who can beat you. Why would you even choose them?
Yeah.
Jared,
that's got to be the worst move of Big Brother history, picking Matt.
So it's the blind leading the blind with Jared and Blue. And I'm hoping that somehow Sari could give them some sight. But it's the blind leading the blind with them too.
No, 100%.
Agreed.
Man, that was definitely a great point. I maybe was so caught up on Jared's bad gaming that I didn't even realize how messed up Blue was not giving information to Jared. But that does bring some valid points on her mistakes. And hopefully they could correct it so that way next week or this week. What am I saying next week? They have to focus on this week. They can they can do something to where Jared has a chance at winning, because during the competition with Cameron and Jared lost.
Yeah.
The competition was what it had to do with Jared versus Cameron. They have to get on a balance beam and
they have to bring a ball to the other side and like balance it in.
Balance the balls at the end of the shovel, and Jared loses this. And so, what is that? What do you guys think that means for Jared?
I don't really get this twist that they're doing, so I don't know. I'm letting you get the
really either.
They've done a terrible job at explaining the twist, so I'm just going to let the cat out of the bag on how this twist works. So basically what happens is whoever wins this comp is going to be able to choose whether or not they will. So, okay, let me take it back. Remember BB20? Remember Caitlyn?
Elaborate.
The level 6 season.
Kind of. I don't know why.
With Tyler.
But who's Caitlyn?
All right. Well, anyway, Caitlyn was a player that got voted out, and she had a chance to come back in the game. All she had to do was complete a puzzle, and she would get back.
I remember.
Failed to complete the puzzle, so she could not come back. So what's going to happen is there's some sort of competition on Thursday that the winner of this competition will get to choose whether or not the opportunity, A, yes, I'll play in that competition, and if I win, then I'll get back in the house. Or B, they could look at that comp and say, that's a little too hard. If Jared loses this comp, right, I'll let Jared do that competition. Now, he fails the comp, then if I'm Cameron, I get back in the house. Or, hey, if Jared manages to win that comp still, or beat the puzzle, whatever it is, then, hey, Jared gets in the house. And then, hey, you made a bad choice by letting him play. So you either play, essentially fail at whatever the the mission is, or you let somebody else play hoping that they're going to fail because you think it's too hard, and then they fail and you get back in the house.
So it's essentially like you either put the fate in your hands or you let the guy potentially. Okay. So one's kind of like, yo, you're competing, you have a chance yourself, but the other is like, yo, it's hard, but there's still a chance for this guy to win.
Right.
Okay.
So it's if you're, let's say let's say Cameron, he was in the lead with this comp, so I'm assuming he's going to take the W here because he was whooping them each round. So let's say that's a difficult decision in my book because I guess it would really all depend on what you're looking at here as far as the obstacle goes, because Jared is just as fit as Cameron is. So it just depends on how confident Cameron feels about whatever they throw at him, whether or not he feels like he can beat him or not.
Yeah.
I'm gonna probably opt to put the fate in his hands. I don't think Cameron's the type of guy who's gonna be like, I'll let Jared get a crack at it. I think Cameron's gonna be like, nah, I'm gonna try my hand at it.
Yeah.
I feel like either or would have that same mentality. Let me put the fate in my hands. I know I would too. Like, come on, I'm putting the fate in my hands. I'm not going.
I would be more strategic about it, to be real. Like, I would look at the comp, and if it looked a little too tough, go ahead, bro.
Jeez.
It depends. It has to look like crazy difficult because they're both comp beasts. So like, they're both going to be like, oh, I can do this. So I'm putting the fate in my hands. I'm gonna be honest. I'm them.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely put the fate in my hands as well. But man, yeah, that's definitely a difficult one. But yeah, I definitely choose to keep the fate in my hands overall, because you don't want to go back home knowing that you didn't fight to stay. You did one competition, but you had a second chance and you didn't choose to do it yourself. But overall, what do you guys feel like? Because this episode wasn't much content, right?
Yeah, not much. Not much.
So let's end with this final question, unless you guys have a final question.
Oh, I have a final thing. What about one thing that we missed here is, what about Matt displaying his cunning with Cirie?
I think when it comes to Matt and Cirie's relationship, Cirie definitely says that she has a soft spot for Matt, and I could see why. Matt's definitely an honest guy. He likes to play an honest game, and he's very loyal. But at the same time, Matt is playing the game, though. He is playing the game. He's not afraid to play the game. You know? So I think their relationship is good. I think Cirie should continue to trust him. But at the same time, man, if she wants to win this game, her and Jared have to smarten up times 12. So there's certain people that they have to cut out, certain people that they have to keep closer, and certain relationships that they have to rebuild.
I feel like that's somebody that Cirie needs to keep close to her, because he's on the other side. So, you know what I'm saying? That's somebody that she really has to keep close with her, especially if Jared doesn't come back. It's kind of just her. So, like, having trust with Matt, it's going to be good for her moving forward. Like, if Matt wins the HOH, she doesn't have to worry about necessarily being targeted, which I know Corey and America are going to tell Matt, yo, get Cirie. But it seems you're making that face. I don't know. Hey, maybe there's something I don't know. What don't I know?
I gotta disagree with y'all, man. Cirie has to be very wary of Matt. She can't tell him certain stuff. And the worst part is, like she said on the show, he is her weak spot. So I feel like Matt might be the one to get Cirie up out of here. And it's going to be a shock to her system. I definitely think, unfortunately, with Matt and Jag, like I said the previous episode, these two, from what I've seen on the show as well as on the feeds, these two dudes, they're kind of broing out right now. And I think they're more so in love with the fact of, like, hey, Corey and America, they're young. Like, we're all young. We get each other. We can talk and all that. And they're not realizing, like, yo, you do not want to take a show match to the end. And why would I? And secondly, if I'm Jag and Matt, yes, you could probably beat Corey and America in comps. But why would I even want to take fit young people to the end when I could, from their perspective, I would want to take Cirie. If I'm Jag and Matt, if I'm either one of those guys, I'm telling the other guy, hey, bro, let's try to take Felicia and Cirie to the end. Because we could beat them in Final Four comps. going to be real tough for them to beat us. Why would I want to take a showman's? You take a showman's to the Final Four, guess what? You got 2 people in that 4 that's guaranteed to take each other. So now you just praying to God you're going to beat them in the comp. It's not a good move.
Yeah.
So, but that's where Matt is at right now. So I don't, unless he somehow pivots back, I think he's way off the Sheree train. And he's been playing in her face, like, acting like he's with it, but he hasn't been with it. So we'll see.
Yeah.
I don't see Matt taking a shot at Sheree, to be honest. I really don't. And if he does, that wouldn't be smart at all.
I think
not at all. Not in the slightest.
Go ahead.
But no, go.
I see both sides, honestly, because Matt was willing to take out Jerry without Ceree's permission, so I think he'll definitely take out Ceree. But at the same time, I feel like if Ceree's best bet, she has to drop a bombshell on Matt, which is telling him that, she has a son in the game and it's Jared. I feel like that'll create the ultimate trust with Matt. But then again, Jack could easily put that up in smokes, just convincing him like, you're my bro. So it's definitely a risk, but I feel like it's a risk she has to take. Her back's against the wall.
Yeah, she for sure has to take that risk. But Matt, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't see him taking that shot.
It'll definitely be a difficult one. But, like we said, this episode definitely didn't have a whole lot of content, but it's definitely an interesting week. No HOH, no veto, no nominations, no nothing, except the 2 zombies in the house. But let us know what you guys think. Comment down below. Let us know. We'll be commenting back to every single comment. Hit the like button. It helps with the YouTube algorithm. Hit the subscribe button. We are Reality Roommates, coming back to you guys with every single episode of this season. BB25 has been an interesting season. One of my favorite seasons so far.
Agree.
And let us know what you guys think. We are Reality Roommates. We're out. Peace.
Peace.